Hey guys, James from That's No Moon with another battle report for you. This time I was running my triple TIE defenders, that is 3 Delta Squadron pilots, 1 with tractor beam, 2 with ion cannons with the TIE D title. I was up against Mike running Cad Solus, Old Terok and Asajj Ventress. She was decked out with fearlessness, Ketsu Onyu for the tractor beam shenanigans and the Shadow Caster. So it was going to be a pretty tough matchup for me. Cad Solus pilot skill 6 was running Predator as well, so he'd be able to re-roll 2 of his attack dice against my pilot skill 1 Delta Squadron pilots, which is going to be very nasty. And this is the boring as crap part of the battle report where I talk about deployment and you watch everyone move. Normally with the TIE defenders, I'm either in the habit of deploying them like that facing one of the board edges and either turning them into the opponent or 4K'ing or going straight then turning in on the opponent. So it gives me a bit of flexibility to see where they're going to end up. In this instance, I just turned in, copped the stress tokens and then continued on my merry way forward. And Mike, he kept coming at me. In the following combat, my tractor beam TIE defender loses a single shield, and even though I throw lots of dice back at Mike, he expertly just dodges it all. This is the first time I'd actually fought a high agility list with my triple defender list, so all of a sudden I could see the problems I was going to face. My return fire onto Mike is less than impressive and not a single hit. And it's right here I'm thinking, did I make a mistake? Should I have gone for the Shadow Caster? Time will tell. So back to dials here. At this stage I've committed, so I'm going to use my defenders to try and take out Mike's fighters rather than separate off, because as I said in my golden rules of X-Wing, you can't split targets. I think you're getting a bit of trouble when that happens. So Mike turns the Shadow Caster into me, and to my surprise both of his fighters do 4K turns. It's got to be said here though, unfortunately Mike forgot one of his pilot abilities to put down 2 focus tokens on his stressed pilot. So Shadow Caster shoots out to one of the TIE defenders, but I spend my focus, avoid any damage. Both of his fighters go onto the tractor beam TIE and knock out the rest of its shields. Return fire for me onto Cad, tractor beam. I pull him into the debris field here. So primary range 1 fire, doesn't do a great deal. I get an ion cannon shot onto him, that hits. The primary weapon fire does nothing. This last defender fires its ion cannon, that gets a hit as well, so he's sporting 2 ion tokens by now. And the primary fire, I get a hit and a crit, and Mike blanks out. And of course my kids watch on in amazement. Now the idea here was for my TIE defenders, especially that one, the tractor beam one, just to block Asajj Ventress and just get in the way and be annoying, while the other 2 would probably have to do the heavy lifting. Shame on me, I wasn't really familiar either with the Protectorate Fighter's dial, so I really didn't know what it was capable of. But needless to say, a lot of bumping action happened. Mike bumped into my defender, then I hit the Shadow Caster with my hand. He moves the Shadow Caster, that bumps into the tractor beam defender. So firstly Asajj's ability kicks in, I get a stress token just for being there. So Mike blats off some rounds here at my TIE defender with Asajj, 3 dice, he gets hit and a crit. I roll as I normally do, so it chips off 2 shields. Tractor beam token pulls me out into firing arc of Old Terok. I take 3 crits, one of them being a direct hit, so that defender is out of there. A very poor showing from the Triple Ds this turn, no return shots. So I had a lot of ground to make up here. K-turned with the TIE Defender to get shots on the Shadowcaster. The second TIE Defender, once again I was trying to slow roll him around. I knew someone was going to get smashed though by the Shadowcaster, but wasn't really aware how awesome those little fighters are, and Mike was doing really good to stick on me like glue. So Mike here plants his stress token down thanks to Asajj Ventress again. Gets 3 primary dice. I managed to evade them however, but old Tarek, it's like facing a heavy laser cannon. He chips off 2 shields pretty easily. I return fire here with Delta 1, sporting the tractor beam onto the Shadowcaster. I get the hit which reduces his agility, and then primary weapons fire chips off all 3 shields. So now it's time for the Delta Squadron Shuffle, which consists of running away. Both TIE Defenders are a little bit wounded at this stage, so I barrel roll, try and get out of the way, try and lock in some shots for the tractor beam one coming back into the fight. And Mike continues his relentless pursuit with old Tarok, and the Shadowcaster does a K-turn, actually a 5 K-turn, which is pretty versatile given the size of the ship. So at this stage of the game, down 1 ship, I just wasn't feel I couldn't get enough damage through to Mike's fighters. So in this engagement, lost a shield and lost a hull. In return, a tractor beam does bugger all, and primary weapon fire sneaks through a crit and hits, and Mike pulls out the stun pilot, which would save me from his shots for at least 1 turn. So you're looking back on this battle report now, I'm not sure if the 1 bank that way would have been the right call. Maybe I should have done something towards the Shadowcaster to try and block it, but I probably would have went over the debris field and copped a stress token for my troubles anyway, and was really in a position to even risk getting a critical. So here I cop a stress token from Asajj Ventress for being in range 1 to 2, but I'm lucky enough to evade all of his weapons fire. Really terrible turn for me though, as I'm not shooting at all, so complete wasted turn for me. So back to dials here, I perform a K turn and a bank just to get my TIE Defenders to at least face the same direction and hopefully get shots on target. Fighter does a 2 turn inwards, and Asajj Ventress creeps up forward into range 1. So double stress for the poor Delta Squadron pilot. So fearlessness kicks in here, basically cop another heavy laser cannon. I do evade 3 of them though, and a critical goes through, being a damage sensor array. Mike then uses his tractor beam to pull me away so I cannot shoot. That gives old Tarek the minerals he needs to well and truly remove that wounded TIE Defender. And I do no damage back. Here I just pull a straight manoeuvre, because regardless of where I go, I'm going to get shot at because of Asajj Ventress's mobile firing arc and my lower pilot skill. So unfortunately this is more or less the game. So Asajj Ventress this turn doesn't manage any damage onto the TIE Defender, which I was pretty happy about. No tractor beam token either. I fire back onto old Tarek and manage a whopping 1 damage. How exciting. So here I do what TIE Defenders do and pull a 4K turn. Can't do any actions though because I'm still sporting those 2 stress tokens. Mike here cruises over the debris field, takes a stress token, and Asajj keeps moving, as you can see. So I was hoping for a tractor beam shot to pull him onto the debris field, but it didn't happen. Primary fire though puts through 1 sneaky damage. So it turns out my plan to run away was never that good. I hit a debris field, rolled a critical, got a direct hit for my troubles. The Shadowcaster turns in, she goes on a debris field, but it doesn't really matter. I gain another stress token, which Mike happily loans me. Range 2 primary shot, 4 evade dice for me, all come up blank, 1 damage gets through, and that is the game. A very well earned victory for Mike. Unfortunately for me, I'm a bit bitter because it didn't give me a chance to showcase the triple tie defenders I've been preaching and playing for 6 or 7 games now. I'm having a bit of luck with them. So better luck next time. Thanks for watching. If you've got any suggestions or critique about any of the lists, I would love to hear them, so please comment. Thanks again.